Right, so we got this very interesting deviant take here as he is tackling a very well established meme, which I think is actually older than 6 years, where you have a woman asking, "Why are you so far right politically?" And the man says, "I'm just a normal person from 1995." Now, the reason this meme holds is because almost every single thing and policy that people had in the 1995 is usually considered extremist today. There are actual Democrats that, held far-right positions, and there are videos of them from before 1995, especially on stances like immigration, policing, Joe Biden talking about the urban jungle, so on and so forth. And so there is validity to this meme. And if you don't believe me, go ask your favorite AI. This is what is the kryptonite of the leftists. Asking the pattern recognition software whether or not if a person that came back through time, like let's say, an individual from 1995 with those exact same beliefs and cultural knowledge, if he were to express them in 2026 in Germany, for example, or even in the United States, would he be considered an extremist? And I believe he would. I haven't even checked, right? But go on and do it yourself. Get Gemini, ChatGPT, Grokky, your favorite, and see what it says. But anyway, right, I'm not going to use AI now. I'm just going to address what Dev is saying, because he is absolutely horrified, right? As a Canadian, he is livid over the fact that USAID is dismantled. He just can't conceive this, right? What do you mean USAID was dismantled? That is Nazi level shit, I guess, right? No person in 1995 would have supported this. Because in 1995, every single taxpayer in America wanted his money to go to foreign governments. This was what they voted on, right? It was one of the most unifying issues there was in the country. And then he talks about NATO being dismantled. We're going to get back to that in a little bit. The president to be granted absolute immunity by SCOTUS. Right, so again, the way I understand it is that Donald J. Trump went to SCOTUS one morning and said, you guys, you must give me immunity. And SCOTUS said, yes, Mr. President, you have immunity. And from that day forward, dictatorship happened. And this will only apply to Trump, right? When a Democrat president is going to be coming to the White House, he's not going to have immunity. Or of course, since this is such a huge issue, Dev, and I'm definitely sure, right? When you're going to have the next Democrat president, he's actually going to pass legislation to remove the immunity. Right? Because Democrats are honorable folk. They're not MAGA chads. They're going to be no, hold on a little bit. The president shouldn't have immunity. I actually do want to talk a little bit about this, the idea of the president having immunity. Just because destiny is spurging out doesn't mean that we need to spurg out too, Dev, right? Just because CNN is making articles about some shit doesn't mean we need to parrot CNN. What the fuck happened with you? You used to have common sense and think for yourself for a little bit. The president always had immunity, right? When Obama drone striked American civilians, right? Was he prosecuted for it? Did anyone even think about doing that? Was he, arrested? I mean, he issued the order. He's the commander-in-chief, right? And so, if the president doesn't have immunity, then he should have been, he murdered people, Dev. He didn't declare war, right? He didn't even drone strike combatants or terrorists. There were people that happened to be next to the terrorists, which he ended up killing. If a police officer did that, Dev, he would be arrested, right? But for some reason, when the president signs the executive order and it happens, well, nothing, there's no law, there's no, right? Why? Because he has immunity. Again, just because it wasn't explicit, didn't mean it wasn't there. In fact, SCOTUS actually does say, yeah, it was always there. But okay, let's imagine for a second that we live in retardo land, and the president doesn't have immunity. Okay, let's say the president does the bad things, right? He drone strikes people, he does whatever the fuck he wants. And then he gets arrested, the vice president becomes president, and the vice president now pardons the sitting president. And what do you do then? Oh my goodness. Oh, he can do that, can't he? Yes, he can. But even then, like the president can also delegate another guy, right? And the other guy makes all of the decisions. And then the president issues a pardon, and then you fucking go like, Dev, come on. Like, when was this controversial? When? Right? Like, it is understandable that every single president of every single nation, for the shit he is doing while acting as president, he has immunity. Again, even if it's not explicitly stated, almost everybody that's not mental understands this, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to do their job as presidents. Like, imagine, every single drone strike, every single military decision, every single thing that they do could put them into prison, and so, like, they would just do nothing. That's what would happen. You would have, like, the most risk-averse administration ever, which, by the way, could actually be a good thing. I don't know. Maybe it could be a good thing, but I think that in terms of crisis, or where you need to make snap decisions, and people can't second-guess themselves, I wouldn't want a president that believes that, he signs something and then he ends up in prison. Like, for example, during COVID, right? Like, you have a president that basically says, stay at home, stay safe. And then people sue him. It's like, well, he violated my right to freedom of travel. That is my human right. He imprisoned me in my own home. I wasn't sick at any point, right? And so his law, it doesn't matter, right? It's like, while he was president, his law violated my rights. And then he gets sued by millions of people, and he has to pay millions of people damages, and now he needs to go to prison, right? That would what it would mean if the president would basically not have immunity for his decisions. Because he literally just quarantines people that aren't sick, right? Violates their rights, and it's up to now a jury. And the jury is made by their own peers. The jury might also be made by people that also feel the same way, that their rights were violated. And now the president is in prison, right? Again, maybe it would be a better system. I don't fucking know. It depends, right? Like, in some situations, but no country functions like this. Like, there is absolutely no nation on planet Earth that functions like this. Now, let's talk a little bit about USAID, right? I don't think people in 1995, especially the ones that live in Detroit, or that see beggars on their own streets, that see poverty in America, they are actually, you know what we need to do? We need to spend money on foreign aid. Yeah, fuck Detroit. Or explain to a working class lad who has children, unlike you, and he actually wants to provide to his daughter, but like half of the shit is taken away through taxes. Now, maybe he does understand the roads, maybe he does understand pension, maybe he does understand the military, but I don't think he understands why his money are taken away from his daughter and given to some other person that will never even thank him. It's not even viewed that he is the one giving it. It's viewed that the government is giving it. Right? Now, let's be honest. If you go to 1995 and you tell people that USAID is funding homosexuality in Niger, do you think, like, the American people would be like, well, I mean, yeah, sure, like, my taxpayer money should fund homosexuality in Niger. Why shouldn't it? It's funding gender studies in Kabul. I mean, obviously, like, that's what taxpayer money are for. Right? And then he like look at this, right? Did people in 1995 even know what USAID is? Did USAID, the exact same in 1995, exist in 2026? Because again, like, just because the institution has the name doesn't mean that it can't change what it does. Like, for example, BioWare or Blizzard, right? Like, they're both the same company, but the games they're releasing now and their mission statement and the people working there are completely different than the people that used to work back in the day, right? Like, we need to understand this. An institution is not a human being. Like, an institution can have, like, completely different people working today than it used to have back in the day. And so it's a legitimate question, right? Like, was the USAID from there the same as now? And did the people back then know what it was doing? And Dev goes, you got mind raped by social media into believing that USAID was some nefarious program, bro. Get offline. So, like, Dev is not even capable of answering the question. Like, he's not even stating that the USAID was different. He's basically asking. And Dev's like, you got mind raped by social media. Like, Dev, most people do not enjoy paying taxes. Like, I know this is a shock to you. I know that you may not appreciate the fact that most people absolutely despise. They're disgusted. We hate paying taxes, okay? Now, we understand that you still live in a society, so you have to pay taxes. Although, The question is like, how much? How much taxes must we pay, right? Most people would answer the bare minimum, right? The bare minimum does not include funding homosexuality in Africa. In fact, the bare minimum would probably not include funding Africa, period. Right? Like, Africa can have charities. People can donate if they want to. But I do not understand why my money needs to be taken away from my hungry son's mouth and given to people that will never be grateful for me. In fact, I would, flip the table on the welfare system as well. Like, hey, Dev, are we in a democracy or not? What happens if more people agree with me and they say, like, fuck the welfare system? People that don't have children should figure it out. Oh, my goodness, it would make a worse society. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Fuck it. Fuck the welfare system. Right? What happens if, like, we have 50 plus 1% of people that think like me? And I would think, you know what? My family is more important. Everyone else can go fuck themselves. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's bad. Who the fuck knows? We got democracy, right? What would happen is that people like myself that choose to have many children would probably be fine. People like yourself will stop getting money from me. Like, why should I fund you, Dev? Why exactly should I fund you? Why should I pay taxes, right? Not me, because I'm from Romania. But, like, why should someone else from Canada, right? Like, he's got children. You don't, right? So, like, the guy with children has his money taken away from him, given to you, and you're not even grateful to him. That's the thing that pisses me off, right? Like, you never go to the guy and say, hey, thank you for working hard for me and my wife, because we decided not to have kids. You live in a society that constantly requires to have children in order to pay for your welfare. Like, every generation, you need more kids than the previous one. Now, you make a choice not to have kids. That's fine, right? But what happens when a lot of people start making your choice? What happens when, like, everybody, or not even everybody, but, like, enough people to collapse the system start making your choice? And not only that, but, like, you also have, like, a lot of disgust and disdain for the people that pay the taxes so that, you can have your pension when you're old. And I know you can say, well, I mean, I'm paying for my pension. Yeah, sure, you are paying for your pension, but it's considered pay as you go, right? Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Like, my point is that you want a liberal society, but you kind of hate it when people vote differently. Right? Is it a liberal society where we're allowed to vote on whatever the fuck we want? Because I think, like, that's what democracy works, right? You should be allowed to vote. Like, if you don't want the liberal democracy anymore, you should be able to vote to stop it. But this is not even what people in America are doing. People in America apparently voted to stop USAID. USAID, Dev, right? Now that we're talking about it, was during the Trump's campaign. Like, he didn't just win and said, Ubarashung, we're going to stop USAID. No, he campaigned with Elon Musk, right? He did say we're going to stop USAID if we win. People had enough time to do research for themselves. Like, if you don't agree with that, then you don't agree with democracy. But people had enough time to go to the library, to see what the USAID is. USAID itself had enough time to explain to people what it is and what it's doing, to show transparency, right? But people voted for Donald Trump. Popular vote. And then he managed to win, and he did what he campaigned. He stopped USAID. NATO dismantled. Dev, NATO is not getting dismantled. Okay? Like, the average American doesn't want NATO dismantled. Like, you need to start understanding what is actually said for political reasons, used as pressure for other nations versus, like, what's going to happen. Right? Like, look what is required to dismantle NATO, and then come talk to me. And if you disagree, we can be a betting man. Let's put like $5,000. I guarantee to you, the next 10 years, NATO is not going to be dismantled. I'm willing to put $5,000 on this. Like, we can settle this like men. We don't have to disagree with each other. Just like, put your money where your mouth is, and it's like, fine. The president to corruptly rug pull billions of dollars for himself. Innocent until proven guilty, right? I mean, this is how you also treated Joe Biden. When a court convicts Donald Trump of pulling billions of dollars for himself, I'll be like, okay, fine. Up until that point, no. No, because no. I refuse. I constantly see this. When it's a Democrat and there's ample evidence of wrongdoing, you're like, what is the conviction? Let's wait and see. Okay, well then let's wait and see. Where is the jury? Where is the conviction that Donald Trump pulled billions of dollars for himself? I honestly don't even give a shit about this scandal. I don't think that Donald Trump did this because he has lawyers. And if he did, he probably has legal coverage. I mean, again, Dev, you're the same person that thinks Nancy Pelosi isn't insider trading. And so, like, my brother, you know, it is what it is. Like, if Nancy Pelosi isn't insider trading and it's like innocent until proven guilty and let's wait and see, and maybe she's like really good at stock marketing, okay, well, maybe, you know, the same thing happened with Donald Trump. Innocent until proven guilty. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, we'll see you in the comment section. Take care.